welcome to Centre Court. All thanks to Layton Funerals, supporting women in sport for over 125 years. I'm Bianca Chatfield, and as always, I'm joined by Sharni Layton.
It's good to be here, Bianca.
Oh, grand final week has been, and it's been won, and what an epic grand final it was.
How intense. I can't believe it. It was just the most unusual final series, full stop, and I think that the grand final absolutely encapsulated how bizarre and up and down this year has been. But what a performance from the Swifts. They were unbelievable.
Wasn't it? Now, before we delve into that, don't you have a grand final this week?
I do have a grand final this week. I know. That's if I can run out these corkies that I'm getting in football. Actually, I'm just sooking it at the moment.
So Collingwood are taking on the Western Bulldogs in the VFLW.
VFLW grand final, 11:35 at Icon Park in Carlton. Come on down. Just giving myself a plug there. So it's going to be great for all of you that will be missing netball on the weekend. Come watch the other netballers.
Okay, back to the netball now. Yeah. We want to talk about the grand finals. So Lightning took on the Swifts. As we know, it was a very convincing win by the Swifts. They ended up having a 27-goal turnaround from their result in the semi-final to what they managed to win by in the grand final. Look at this. I mean, the shooting percentage was quite high for the Swifts in the end, but you look at their intercepts, rebounds, they just won it all over the court.
All over the court, and they just came out firing from that first whistle. And, you know, Lightning didn't shoot too bad percentage-wise, but 47, which is just so low for them. They just had experienced players that didn't turn up. Sarah Clow, absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, I think we both love a good defender. And ourselves, but in saying that, you know, she was phenomenal. She stood up. You know, didn't matter who came on, whether it was Peace, whether it was Cara Conan, absolutely dominated. And when you're constantly giving the ball back, and they were the Swifts from round one, they didn't throw away too many balls and absolutely dominated. What were your thoughts?
Well, I want you to listen to this. This is a grab from Paige Hadley before the game when Maddy Turner was interviewing her.
So obviously the semi didn't quite go our way. How do you think we can build on that performance going into the weekend?
Yeah, obviously the third quarter we really lacked intensity and just weren't safe with the ball. So I think for us it's about sticking to a game plan for 60 minutes, but coming out with something a little bit different because we obviously haven't beat them at all this year. We've come close but not close enough. So yeah, it's about doing something a little bit different this week.
And that is exactly what the Swifts did. They did do things a little bit differently. And I interviewed Katrina Rore on a podcast yesterday, and she said how they spent the week before the grand final breaking down 3 things in attack that they could do against the Lightning, 3 things in defence, and the target was to break down the connection. And
I love it.
To be honest, Swifts, we've said, they play like a team, don't they? They support everybody, they have each other's backs. The one thing that stood out for me is every single player on that court in their starting 7 played their role. They kept it so simple. It wasn't about being flashy. They just played their role, and they managed to get such a convincing win over a team that we all thought were going to take them away, didn't we? We thought Lightning were going to win easily, but they certainly didn't. And credit to the Swifts because they just backed themselves in all over the court.
Yeah, absolutely, B. Yeah. Congratulations to the Swifties.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, it's now time to set the agenda, all thanks to Layton Funerals. And I'm going to take this away first, Shans.
Yeah.
For me, I want to talk about the viewership and the attendance of the Suncorp Super Netball this year. It's pretty exciting that we are making some really good gains. So TV audience has gone up 2% this year, so over 6 million people have seen the netball. The attendance, over 280,000 people have been up 3%. I think that's really good. Marginal gains, it's, you know, small little baby steps that we're taking.
Yeah.
And the one thing that stands out to me, though, is people who are watching it, you know, in delay. So watching replays, that's gone up 39% because we know that's how everyone seems to consume TV these days, is you watch it in your own time and when you're ready.
Yes.
But I wanted to talk about what are some things you think we can do better next year to increase it even further, to make sure that more people are getting to see this awesome sport that is showcased on TV every week. And I don't know about you, but one thing for me that I think is a standout is the grand final was played at 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
Phenomenal.
That is when everybody is sitting at home on their couch.
Yeah. I
think we had over 900,000 people watch and tune into the grand final, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's the perfect time to showcase the netball. It won its time slot. There was nothing else on to compete with it. So I think the timing is what we need to look at, and to make sure that when we're showcasing the game live on TV, that we put it at a great time, like 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely, because everyone's just hanging around on a Sunday. When we're playing it on a Saturday afternoon, that's when everyone's actually at their own netball games playing
that's
netball.
True, yeah.
So we need to try and organise it around, and I know it's difficult with broadcasting and times and all the rest of it, but organise it around times when people, not only netballers, but everyone can tune in and watch. And so for me, Bianca, it's when the people that are actually coming to the games, perhaps we have more double headers. Maybe we draw more people into the games by doing that and ramping up the entertainment factor. I think we're doing better, but I think it can still go up a little bit more in comparison to maybe just how some other sports are doing it at the moment.
Actually, you bring up a good point, because as a player, what is it like playing in a double header opposed to when you're just playing your own kind of home game for the Magpies? Do you enjoy the double headers when you've got a Vixens game there as well?
Well, we really struggle to get a crowd with the Magpies when we are in a Melbourne arena, because it is such a huge stadium. So, you know, you might get half a stadium, if that, whereas when it's a double header, it's a full stadium for both games. The crowd's up, and because Melbourne people just go for Melbourne no matter what, they're going for the Magpies and the Vixens as long as we're not playing each other. So, yeah, I think if we apply a few of these things, we can still continue to get greater gains than what we even did again this year.
I totally agree with you. Okay, Sharni, it's now time for you to set to the agenda, all thanks to Lapine Funerals. What are you talking about this week?
So my agenda this week, Bianca, is all about the development of the Australian team. Obviously, we haven't had a huge successful era. Well, it's just like, you know, silver in Com Games and Worlds. It's not the worst thing in the world.
But we're greedy because we always want gold.
But we always want gold. So, you know, everyone's talked about how we have so many imports coming into Super Netball, and is that affecting our development? So I love that Netball Australia now has an Australia A team. So, yes, I know this isn't new news. It's come out last week or the week before, but Julie Fitzgerald is heading up the team. She's got great experience. Michelle Dendecker is a defensive coach who was involved with the Diamonds when we were there.
Yes.
And also Stacey Marinkovic as well. So to be able to get these players that aren't quite at that Australian level yet, but it was so hard to make the Australian team when you're not in it, because those girls that finish now that aren't in the Australian team won't play again until April next year. So that's 6 months for them to try and catch up to where those Aussie girls are at. So now they actually have a tournament in October. They get to train together to continue their development so they can push for those diamond spots, so we continue to strengthen the Australian team. So I think that's a really exciting and a really great move from Netball Australia.
Exactly, and it's a chance for those girls to perform, because if they bring their best game to those games, then it's hard for Lisa Alexander to overlook them when she selects the Australian team for next year. I really like that, Shans. I think that's really important that we have that in our development.
Yeah. Got to put your hand up. Pick me.
It's like a whole team of training partners, isn't it?
I know, realistically.
You just got to have fun with it. All right, Shans, it's over to you for Leader of the Week.
Yes!
Yes! I'm glad you're excited about it. Who is your leader this week?
My leader of this week is someone who I don't think that you will expect, but it is the goal shooter for the mighty Swifts, Sam Wallace. She had a phenomenal game on the weekend, and so the thing that impressed me the most was into the semi-final, she absolutely cracked under pressure. She shot 16 from 19 with 5 turnovers for the entire game, whereas on the weekend in the grand final, she had 11 from 12 in the last quarter, and she finished with 40 from 44 goals. So for me, the ability of a player who can look at their own performance, see what they've done wrong, analyse that and change it. She 100% had the better of Fumza Mawini on the weekend. Fumza didn't know what she was, well, I should have said she didn't know what she was doing, but Sam just had the better of her. And every time Lightning had a timeout, Nolene was saying, you need to do this, Fumza, you need to do that, because Sam kept on adjusting her game to what was going on. And for me, a real leader is being able to adjust and step up. And as we know, the Swifts hadn't beaten the Lightning yet, and I think Sam was a huge part of that. So congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, and it was her calmness under pressure that stood out to me. Like, it didn't matter what was happening in the game, before the game, at the start, the first minute, she just was always a presence. She just was always there, leading for the ball at the right time and being an option for her team. So, yeah, great pick by you. Something very different. I enjoyed it. It's now time to get to the nitty gritty, all thanks to Lexus, a very experienced, amazing with us. All right, Shans, this is where I talk about leadership. I don't know why, I always tend to focus on this in this area. It's a huge passion of mine. One thing I like is that when you see a team doing really well, but not necessarily on the court, it's also off the court. And we had a unique situation with the New South Wales Swifts where their captain, Maddy Proud, she went down with an ACL injury. She was out for the year. Paige Hadley stepped up, took over the captaincy.
Amazing.
They found this unique balance where Maddy Proud, even though she couldn't play, she just seemed to have such a pivotal role within the team. She sat on the bench week in, week out, took up a coaching/mentoring role for all the players. Paige Hadley stood up on court, played the best we've seen her play, as well as leading the team on court. And it was a unique balance that I've never seen happen that well in a team when you have a player out injured like that.
Well, I agree.
I want you to take a listen just to the audio from an interview after the grand final.
Oh, I'm just so proud of these girls. We came out all year and we said that we could do this, and here we are.
Well, we didn't want to count it, I guess, so this is the one that mattered, and yeah, speechless, which is a rare occasion for me. But yeah, as Paige said, just so unbelievably proud, and you know, we had our fans that all came all the way here as well, and just to have put on that performance is incredible.
Well, congratulations to both of you. I'll let you go enjoy the celebration.
Thank you. And thank you. To be honest, I just love how passionate they were, how real, authentic they are as leaders of that New South Wales Swifts team. And I think it's those connections that you have with your teammates that takes you on that path to win a grand final. And I love that they kept it simple. They just had all these honest conversations. Maddy Proud, at the start of the year when I hosted the Super Netball launch, Maddy Proud came out and said they hadn't made finals last year, said the only thing that we accept this year is to win it.
Wow.
She had a young team. She had the courage to put the pressure on from the very start of the season. And I'm just really proud of what she has been able to do, especially knowing the emotional pain she probably was going through not being out there herself. But she put that aside, and I just think credit to the Swifts and how they've been able to handle it.
Yeah, and I think that it's so phenomenal because usually if you have a captain that goes out and another captain can step up, that's when you can get relationship issues. You know, there's egos. I'm the captain. I can't be out there. You know, and so the fact that poor me, you know, those kind of victim attitudes. So the fact that she was able to go out, still be a huge leader of the team, and for Paige to be able to step up and still include Maddy so much when some players wouldn't be able to do that either. Like you said, it was the dynamics of it all that made it so special, and it is rare, and that is something that I would definitely love to see more of. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so well done to everyone at the Swifts. That was the Nitty Gritty, all thanks to Lexus of Berwick. Experience amazing with our unique one-touch purchase. Visit lexusofberwick.com.au. Okay, Shans, Coach says we always get to this segment at the very end of the show, but we thought we'd do something a little bit differently today, and we thought we'd name our best players of the Suncorp Super Netball. We're going to put together our team of the year. Take a look. I'll go through the defenders first. Shamira Sterling from the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Carla Pretorius, Renee Ingles. For me, that's the lockdown defence and that I think would be super strong, and I'd love to see them playing together.
Absolutely. And then moving forward, Ash Brazel, who showed in that centre position at the end of the year, was an absolute standout. With her wing attack, Liz Watson in front, who was definitely the best wing attack out there. Helen Housby, who somehow managed to get through the second half of the season. We don't know how, but balancing that out with Sophie Garvin. She just had an absolute ripper year, especially after the devastation of losing the World Cup. And goal shooter, I think we just can't go past Janelle Fowler because, you know, she's developed so much in this league. And yes, she's tall, but the agility that she has also added to her game and what she's been able to stand up in a tough Fever team this year. She's still definitely the best goal shooter out there.
Yeah, definitely. That was Coach Says, all thanks to Lapine Funeral, supporting women in sport for over 125 years. One thing we need to talk about, we're very lucky, we're on air right now, just as we've heard the new Australian team for the Constellation Cup has been announced, and there are some surprises, which is great to see. It's a different lineup. We believe that Steph Wood may be rested, or I'm not sure what's happening with her. But the most exciting part for me is we've got some newbies into the side. Ash Brazel is back in.
Yay! Good work, Ash.
So great to see. We also see Tegan Phillip. She is back in as well. Laura Sherian has got the call up after her dominant side
and so well
with the Lightning.
not just from this year but from the last couple of years.
And you called it, Maddy Turner. You said that you wanted to see her in the lineup, especially after her combination with Sarah Clow. That was pretty exciting to see. And if we take a look at, there's some extra squad members that have been included too. Kira Austin, Emily Mannix, Kate Maloney, Gabby Simpson and Steph Wood there as well, who no doubt will be a part of that Australia A team, I would imagine, coming up.
So.
So
Yeah.
good luck to the Diamonds girls for the Constellation Cup. Let's hope we can turn it around against the Silver Ferns.
I think we'll be able to. I think with some injection of the new players in there, I personally can't wait to see the combination of Sarah Clow and Maddie Turner on the Australian stage, because I think that they will really prove themselves out there and take that opportunity with two hands.
And I can't wait to see Ash Brazel, AFLW player, not only a Magpies netballer as well, but now she can add Australian Diamonds back onto her list of achievements. That's been Centre Court, all thanks to Lapine Funerals. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to Hayden and all the crew behind the scenes who help us put the show together every single week. Sharni, good luck for your grand final.
Thank you, Bianca.
I hope you have the best time out there. Be a hero, blah, 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 all that stuff.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be joining you again next year.